Alright, let's do this one last time. My name is Drew Dodger, and for the last couple months, I've been doing a podcast with my good buddy, Jacob Herron. While we love film in general, with us being artists and all, we have a fascination with animation, and we decided to start an audio podcast after we both geeked out over the animated Transformers movie. We're not perfect, we've gotten names wrong, and we don't always agree on movies. But at the end of the day, we try to bring an informative and entertaining show to you all, and we'd like to welcome you to The Cellcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me this morning is a man who just has to roll with it, because he's got rollability. Jacob!
Why, thank you. I'd like to introduce our co-host. A man who just had to drag Santa to the castle. Welcome, Drew.
Oh, when you're... I got nothing, actually. How are you doing this morning, Jacob?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Doing very well. It's been a very productive week, somewhat.
Since Saturday?
Since Saturday, yeah. Since Saturday.
Well, behind-the-scenes action. If y'all remember, on our last episode, we technically recorded it on a Saturday, and then we're recording this on our normal night.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm trying to open up a week so I can go on vacation.
Yeah, lucky dog.
Hey, some of us get that sort of thing every once in a while.
Yeah,
I just forgot when I was planning it. Oh yeah, I have an episode of the podcast, and we can't throw a short in because it's a theme month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going pretty good. I've gotten a few things in the mail. I've got a poster, which is really cool. I finally got in.
Really odd that you, a person, in my mind, I think of as a dog person more than anything else, now have a poster of a cat.
It's Goose from Captain Marvel. Goose is the coolest character in that movie. Yes, I want a picture of the cat.
Hang on. As much as I like Goose, you're saying that Goose is cooler than Samuel L. Jackson?
Maybe.
Okay. I'm not going to fight you, but that takes some gall. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, Samuel L. Jackson, kind of trusted him with his life, and all he got for it was a scar.
That made some people mad.
Just a little bit. But hey, it was kind of like, okay, that was an interesting reveal. By the way, spoilers if you haven't seen Captain Marvel.
Yes. Some people probably haven't seen Captain Marvel still, but anyway.
Cat scratch fever!
What have you been watching?
What have I been watching? Well, I've been
wait, hang on. I didn't talk about
No, you didn't. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No. So, how are you been, Drew?
Fair to middling, to use my dad's terminology.
So you drove all the way out to the, Midland, Texas?
There's not a Midland, Texas.
Midland.
That's what I said. Midland. There's a what is that name of that called out by? There's a Midland, but not a Midland.
Whatever. How's your week been?
Oh, it's been okay. The troubles of last week are calming down.
Good.
It's been good so far. Not much. I picked up, as I said last time, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening on the Switch, and I've been playing that.
Yeah, how's that going?
It's good. It is a remake of one of my favorite Game Boy games. Mm-hmm. So it still has the feel of a Game Boy game, despite being a 3D game on a big television.
Big television.
Yeah, I went from playing on a 1.5-inch black and white. Oh, actually, I played on the Game Boy Color, so it was a color screen.
Fancy.
To playing it on it's the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
Wasn't that fancy. To a big 50-inch television. It's like, it's a big difference.
Hey, when you grow up with just the Game Boy, that's an advance.
No, that was the next one.
I know.
Anyway, so that's pretty much been what I've been doing.
Okay.
What have you been watching?
Oh, so for a while,
I can tell you what I've been watching. A fat load of nothing.
Okay. So I've got something on you, actually.
Yes.
Okay. So I've been trying to watch the show on Netflix for a while, but they only had the sub version. And so while I believe it was Sunday night, and I was just kind of bored because I was waiting for people to leave, and I just turned on Netflix. Sure enough, they had the dub version of Kill la Kill. And,
hang on.
Can you see where this is big of a problem?
You watched Kill la Kill at church.
Yes, I'm guilty. Yes, I did. Now, in my defense, I didn't know exactly what Kill la Kill was.
You watched Kill la Kill at church.
Yes, I did.
This was the one I would not bring up when I found out about the English dub because I didn't want to talk about it on the show.
Well, in my defense, I really didn't know what the show was. Be like, I'd seen a few things about it. It looks kind of cool. It's very reminiscent of, like Fully Cooley's animation style. I was okay. I like that. It's very
Fully Cooley Magic Girl anime.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, okay, it'd be like I'm listening to low audio, and it's like beep 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 beep. It's like, okay, turn it down. Oh, never mind. I can shut this off.
Yeah, about the time she gets attacked by clothing, I would have been surprised if they hadn't shut it off yet.
Yeah, so I finally wound up watching, I think, 2 episodes. I watched sadly enough at church. And there again, I didn't know.
That's one to watch at home.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, people. Yes, the language is rough. And yes, she's scantily clad. And there's lots of scantily clad
yes,
people
there is.
in this. I do want to point out that, A, you never actually see anything.
No, you don't.
B, it was made for adults. This is definitely not a kid's show.
Yeah, so yeah.
Do not let your kids watch Kill la Kill.
Yeah, true. And then, oh gosh, I can be so naive sometimes. And I
didn't even know that was on your radar.
I was just curious.
I would have warned you if I'd have known that was on your radar. We need to talk more about what we eventually want to see someday. Maybe that will be a short we can do at some point. But
yeah, the shows you don't want to watch.
No, the shows that you want to watch but have never gotten around to seeing.
Oh, okay.
Is what I'm thinking. We'll do that at a later time, though.
Yeah, and also, like me, my naive, slightly, kind of goofy self I was like, I really wonder what episode 2's like while I'm eating breakfast at work. I was like, okay, click off.
It's the tennis episode, isn't it?
Yes, the tennis episode. Yeah, like, listen, learn, just watch the thing at home. Thankfully, no one walked over. It's like, hey, chicken, oh my gosh, what are you watching?
But you have to admit, Makoto is the best character.
The little girl, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%.
Oh, wait till you get the episode where all that backfires.
Okay. I just feel really bad for her character. It's like literally every episode she gets a snot kicked at her. She's like, oh, I'm fine. What? So, yes, that's what I've been watching.
Okay. I, unfortunately, unless you count the animation at the beginning of Link's Awakening.
Oh, okay.
Because there is some nice animation there. It looks good.
Yeah.
But I've pretty much not had a chance to watch much of anything since Saturday because after Sunday afternoon, after church, I felt the need to get out of the apartment for a bit.
Oh.
So I just got out and just roamed around, didn't do much of anything. Just
I got you.
Kind of a road trip, kind of a feel. Didn't bring my camera because then I would have had an excuse for the road trip. Didn't think of that.
Yeah, that happens. I drove by the apartment, so I was like, where's Stu's truck?
It's like saving his sanity is what it's doing.
Yeah.
Because I needed to get away from town. For a couple hours.
Yeah, I get completely.
Since I had to be back at 4 for choir.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday was my nightly gaming with a listener of the show. Well, I say gaming. I'm gaming, he's watching. And him and his wife are watching just because right now we haven't found a game for us to play together.
Oh, okay.
So he's watching me play through Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, okay.
So that was last night.
So where do you stream it at?
Twitch.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you what to look for because literally there's nothing to watch because you can't hear me talk to him.
Okay. I was just generally curious because I knew that Twitch was the primary one where people go to, live stream or stream games.
Yeah. Well, and then I'm doing it over PS4 and there's literally like 3 button presses once you get your account set up to actually start streaming.
Yeah.
On that, so that's the easiest one where he can find where we could find and we talk over the phone while I'm playing.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, literally that's about all I've done.
Okay.
Because it's only been 2 days since we actually recorded.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I had to throw in a viewing of tonight's movie, or this morning's movie. Yeah. And on top of that, so. Mm-hmm. And also my lease is taken care of.
Oh, okay.
So I'm here for another year.
I gotcha.
Without paying out the wazoo. If I'd have waited, it would have been out the wazoo.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I've got 2 bits of news. First one is
more than me.
Is we got a trailer.
Yes.
For a certain movie coming out in November.
Really?
And if you were in the Facebook group on the day of recording, which was the 24th, you would have seen the trailer for Frozen 2 that I posted in there.
Yes.
Although admittedly, I just shared IGN's link. But that counts.
Yeah, it counts.
Did you get a chance to watch it?
Yes, I was, for the lack of a word, very intrigued.
Yes.
Very intrigued by, well, obviously they have to go into this mystical forest and be like all these mystical animals and it's like, who's going to wind up saving who this time? I'm curious.
I am as well. I now have a theory as to what the Elsa on the ocean scenes are.
Yeah?
I think those are dream sequences.
Possibly. But if I remember correctly, at one point we do see, I think it's Olaf who runs into the seahorse.
There is another seahorse scene in that first trailer.
Uh-huh.
Forgot about that.
Well, I think it's in this trailer as well, I think.
I only watched the trailer once.
Oh, okay.
And
I've seen it once and be like, I granted have a photograph memory, so it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, ain't that nice.
Yeah.
No, I saw it once, it's like, why did I have to see that this thing was posted 2 minutes before break was over? Okay. Maybe if I watch it, and I'll be lucky no one will try to come through the door while I finish the trailer.
It's like, door lock.
If only I could get away with that.
Yeah.
I am on the interstate highway. At least it feels that way.
Everybody comes to your office
on the way to the other room.
Okay.
They never stop here unless they want to use the printer. Anyway, the other bit of news that I have, and this is really more, I think, rumor than actual news because I don't have a source for this other than a Facebook post to a YouTube video that I haven't watched.
Okay, so I would say
I'm going with rumor right now. It may be true, but when people are listening to this, they'll know more than I will because it would have been a week and a half later.
Yeah.
So, it appears that Funimation and Aniplex, at least the U.S. arm of Aniplex, is merging.
Okay.
For those who don't know, Funimation is owned mostly by Sony at this point. I think I saw that technically Sony has 90% ownership, when like 10% is still technically owned by the current CEO.
Yeah.
And Aniplex is owned by Sony.
Okay.
A lot of Aniplex Japan's animes have been dubbed by Funimation, including both Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
So, Funimation's getting those back at least.
Yeah.
I've seen some people complain about this possibility. I figured it was going to happen since I first heard of Funimation getting bought out. I really don't see an issue here. But I think it's cool. At least, this is finally happening.
Yeah.
It'll open up some bigger library for Funimation to put stuff out on.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah. I've got nothing else.
You don't have any news?
No. You actually beat me to the punch. The only bit of news was
I stole your Frozen trailer,
yes,
didn't I?
Yes, you did.
My apologies. Okay. So, let's get into the spoiler-free portion of our review. For those of you who are unaware, we are entering, for lack of a better term, Halloween month?
This is Halloween.
Okay. So, all through the month of October, we are reviewing Halloween movies.
Yes.
And the first one was my choice, which was Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah.
What are your spoiler-free thoughts?
My spoiler-free thoughts. Well, it's a movie full of monsters in a hotel.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Voiced by a bunch of comedians. So, yeah. Antics pursue quite often.
True.
The movie is very funny. Mm-hmm. It has very much a father-daughter relationship. Mm-hmm. And the father wanted to be very overprotective of said child. And then
considering what happened to her mother, that's understandable.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. Yeah, it's very family friendly. That, yeah, if you haven't seen the film, it's an enjoyable film. So if you haven't seen the film yet, go watch it. Mm-hmm. It's available mostly on all streaming platforms, and you can buy it relatively cheap. I think I saw it in one distribution arm of a company that shall not be named for like $5.
Oh, I saw it at Walmart with both Transylvania 2 and 3 in the same package on Blu-ray for a pretty decent price.
Yeah,
which is how I own it now.
Ah, okay.
So
I only own 1 and 2. I still need to watch 2.
Well, we'll get into more of this, but there is some interesting things that happened in 1 that come back up in 3.
Oh, okay.
Not to get too much into that.
Okay, cool.
So you would say this movie is family friendly?
Yes, it is very family friendly.
I agree. So if you've not yet seen Hotel Transylvania, I think we both agree that you should go watch it and then turn us back on and hear our thoughts on it.
Absolutely.
So
that's absolutely is a kind of a good note actually. In talking about that, I had posted that we were doing a review today, and one of our listeners, Jim, had chimed in and be like,
"Your brother,
my brother, of course." He had said it's like he wanted one of the hats, because he's like, it's like, oh, I haven't seen the film yet, so yeah, before you listen to us, go watch the review, have your own opinion about the film. Listen to us and be like, make your own assumptions.
Yeah.
Be like, make your own review of the film.
And please share it with us on our Facebook group.
Exactly.
So, I suppose we should move into the actual spoiler-filled portion of our review. This is your official spoiler alert. If you want to continue on, I guess. Fast forward to, and don't want to hear the review, fast forward to the last 5 minutes of the podcast and hit play there. So we'll see you on the other side.
All right.
So, Hotel Transylvania. When was the first time you saw this movie?
Well, I had heard about it for a while, and it's like, okay, it's a funny horror-esque, frightened-esque comedy, and I heard who was in it, and to be frank, I was kind of turned off by who was the casting. I was like, okay,
I can understand that because, admittedly, I'm not a fan of Adam Sandler. In general.
Me either. Maybe in general, because most of his films were like, okay, same character. Yes. And now, great, he's done some movies that were really, really good. I've never seen them, and so I was turned off. And oddly enough, because most of the time when I buy most of my movies, is during Black Friday. Yeah. Now that's the morning of Black Friday, not the night of Black Friday. I'm not that crazy.
You mean it's not Black Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it's not Black Thanksgiving.
Because as long as they forgot that Black Friday is on a Friday, I don't count it.
Yeah. And so
you were there at the right time. They were early.
Yeah, exactly. So I wound up buying Hotel Transylvania. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll get around to watching this. Mm-hmm. And for the review, this is the first time I ever watched it. And
so this was your first viewing?
Yes, this is my first viewing.
Okay.
And I was thoroughly impressed with it. No, correction, I'm sorry. No. This is not my first viewing. Because I'd seen it before.
Uh-huh.
I'd seen it before and really enjoyed it. Yeah, Adam Sandler really blew me away as Count Dracula. I was like,
yeah.
Oh my, that's Adam Sandler? Really?
Mm-hmm.
And he he made me laugh. It's like, oh my gosh, I never thought I would laugh at an Adam Sandler joke. And be like,
well, I have my theories on that, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, it was thoroughly enjoyable, and I rewatched it, obviously, this afternoon for a review. Or Tuesday afternoon to do a review. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and ever since I have Transylvania too. Be like, I need to get around to watching that.
Sure.
So when was the first time you watched it?
My first viewing of this is odd for me, because the first time I saw this, I did see it in a theater.
Okay.
I believe it was at Carmike, back when it was still Carmike.
Mm-hmm.
I had come to the realization by this point that if I wanted to see a movie in a theater and not have to deal with people, that, especially since I was in college,
right,
matinee showings are a nice thing at noon when everyone's still in school.
Or at work.
That too. And I think I was in town and I wanted to watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I wanted to see. And I saw Hotel Transylvania. I was like, the commercials for this look kind of funny. I know nothing about the movie. I just kind of went in almost blind.
Yeah. Blind bagged it.
Pretty much. And I went and I enjoyed myself. It was a fun movie. It was nice little jokes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't till the end, because you start seeing who's in it, you go, wait.
It's like, hold on.
Count Dracula was played by Adam Sandler?
Mm-hmm.
How? That doesn't sound like him at all. That's not even his normal Adam Sandler has two voices, normally.
Yeah.
His regular voice and his other voice. I can't even do it right. But you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
His water boy voice, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like very
It's like, oh, okay.
What the?
And I immediately noted Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
Because, well, I just did.
Okay.
She was cute back then, so of course I knew her voice.
Oh, yeah.
I say she back then, like she's not now. I haven't seen a picture recently, so
yeah,
I can't say.
She looks relatively the same.
I'm fairly certain she does, because... Anyway, and of course I recognize David Spade's voice a mile away, because he's David Spade. He's still in Berkuzco to me. So, I'm going, okay, yeah, it's an odd movie. It's not a flat-out laugh your butt off kind of movie. It's not a serious movie.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. And the entire time I was watching it, I kept thinking, this feels familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for some reason, when those ending credits first started, I missed who the director was.
Ah.
Till the second viewing, when it was playing at Walmart over and over and over and over again on the sample TVs.
Ah.
I go, Gendy Tartakovsky. Of course, this explains everything.
Okay.
You don't know who that is, do you?
No, I don't.
Well, let's get into the crew and I'll tell you all about it.
All right. Good segue.
It was directed, of course, like I just said, by Gendy Tartakovsky, who you might remember being the creator and director for such fine shows as Dexter's Laboratory.
Ah, okay.
Samurai Jack, and the 2D Star Wars Clone Wars show.
Oh, okay.
That's not technically canon, but it's not canon.
Yeah.
It was... So, immediately, the minute I saw the name Gendy Tartakovsky, I thought, this explains a lot. This is his humor. This is more his humor than everybody else's humor.
Right.
It was written by Peter Bainham, Robert Smigel. Smigel, I think, actually. Smigel is the other half of Gollum. Precious. Todd Durham, Dan and Kevin Hageman, with music by Mark Mothersbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
He also did the Lego Movie and Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
And he used to be a member of Devo.
Oh, okay.
Or he was like the lead guy at Devo, I think.
Oh, okay.
Like we said earlier, the cast includes Adam Sandler as Count Dracula. The main things I saw him in was in the movie Pixels. He played a guy by the name of Brenner.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go see Pixels. It's a horrible movie. As a gamer, I hated it.
Of course.
If you want to see a movie with a really good cameo by Pac-Man, go see Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes.
Not Pixels. Skeeter Bronson in Bedtime Stories, which actually I do like that movie.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't.
It was an Adam Sandler movie that Disney produced.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Actually a pretty good movie.
Okay.
And I believe when I was looking through the Disney Plus catalog thing the other day, I saw it in there. So. And of course, Bobby Boucher in The Waterboy.
Boy, yeah.
I think that's his most famous role at this point.
Pretty much.
Along with what's that other movie where he's an idiot? Boy, that narrows it down.
That narrows it down quite a bit. I'm drawing
the one where he Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's the one where he got what's his name from The Price is Right beat him up.
Oh yeah. Bob Newhart.
No, not Bob Newhart.
No, wrong guy. Whoops.
The price is wrong. Anyway. Playing Jonathan was Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
And the main thing I saw him... He's a comedian.
Yes.
He's a stand-up comedian. The main thing I saw him in was... he plays Baby Brent in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. The grown-up version of the mascot for the tuna.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and he still is in the diaper. Because he's reliving his glory days. Oh,
gosh. Yeah, no. Don't remind me of that terror. Ugh.
Oh, you'll be forced to watch that movie
eventually. I know.
Because it's actually a good movie.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
The second one's better.
Okay.
Selena Gomez plays Mavis Dracula.
Right.
She played Alex Russo in Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah, good series.
And in Horton Hears a Who, she played Helga.
I heard about that.
That movie's okay. It's not great.
Yeah. Well, it's the Dr. Seuss movies they made into animated movies.
Horton Hears a Who, I think, is one of the better animated ones. But anyway.
Yeah.
Kevin James plays Frank Frankenstein. To those of you who are already typing into the comments, Frankenstein was the monster. Hey, Frankenstein was the doctor, not the monster. His name is Frank Frankenstein. He was made by Victor Frankenstein, which technically makes him his son. That's the excuse. Kevin James also plays Paul Blart in Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Mm-hmm.
And Doug Heffernan in the TV show The King of Queens.
Yes.
I can't say Fran's last name.
Fran Drescher?
Drescher, yeah, sorry. Because I'm looking at this as Drescherez? Drescherez? Anyway, she, of course, played Fran Fawn in The Nanny.
Mm-hmm.
And she was playing Eunice in this movie, which is The Bride of Frankenstein. Steve Buscemi.
Yes.
Played Wayne the Wolfman.
Oh, gosh. That performance.
Which, if you remember our last episode, you'll know both of these already. He was Neil in Final Fantasy The Spirits Within.
Yes.
And, of course, Randall in Monsters Incorporated and Monsters University. Spoiler alert. Molly Shannon plays his wife, Wanda. And the main thing I noticed in her IMDb was she plays Mary Catherine Gallagher in the movie Superstar. And that was the character she had on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
David Spade plays Griffin, the Invisible Man.
Mm-hmm.
Who I, of course, know as Emperor Kuzco in The Emperor's New Groove. Have you seen that one yet?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I was forced to watch it.
That's how everyone learned or first watched that movie, I think.
You have to watch the movie. It's the greatest movie ever.
Because at that time, Disney was not really doing good again.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you gotta go watch this movie. It's great. But we're on a mission trip to Mexico. Actually, the first time I saw it was in Austin with the theater group. But anyway.
Yeah. Oddly enough.
At 11 o'clock at night.
Wow. Oddly enough.
When we were supposed to be asleep.
Of course. Oddly enough, my first time viewing, because I was living with my brother and sister-in-law, Daniel and Chelsea, and they were like, Chelsea was like, "You've got to watch, be like, you're a Disney fan. You haven't seen the movie yet?" And so, you have to watch, so we all watch it. I'm like, meh. It's good. It's no Lilo and Stitch. And Chelsea loses her mind. It's like, what?
That is true, but I still like Emperor's New Groove. I think a little more than Lilo and Stitch. They're just different things. CeeLo Green plays Murray, the mummy.
Yeah. All the sand.
And the main thing I think most people will know him from is he is the singer of the very famous song that I can't say the actual name for on the show, but the sanitized name is Forget You.
Oh, yeah.
John Lovitz plays Quasimodo.
Quasi.
He played Ernie Capadino in A League of Their Own.
Yes.
And Tim Becker in Loaded Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Brian George played the suit of armor.
Oh, yeah.
The main things I saw him in was Alfred in Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, plus another one of those Batman movies.
Oh.
But I knew you would have interest in that one because we've brought that one up on the show before, and I don't think you've seen it yet.
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen it yet either.
I know where I can get a copy, though.
Oh, I bet you do.
Uh-huh.
Not me, but yeah. And because
certain listener,
what review would not be complete if I didn't bring up a Kingdom Hearts reference?
Of course,
he plays he plays Captain Barbossa,
the
voice of Captain Barbossa.
Oh, okay.
They couldn't get Jeffrey Rush to do the voice.
Oh, come on, Jeffrey.
Lunel plays the Shrunken Heads.
Oh, okay.
And the main thing I saw was that she was a security woman in the middle.
Oh, okay. Never watched the middle.
Jackie Sandler, a.k.a. the wife of Adam Sandler, plays Martha.
Like you do. That's what I thought that was.
And Sadie Sandler, his daughter, plays both young Mavis and Winnie.
Which one's Winnie?
The little girl werewolf.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got my family here. Why not be like, put you on?
Well, it makes.
Here's the mic. Say it.
It does make sense that she would play. They would use those people for the family scene at the beginning because that is so. I guess it's not just at the family scene because you only hear her in a voiceover at one point.
Yeah.
But anyway, it makes sense that they would use that whole family dynamic to keep that real.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, it slightly reminds me of the composer and writer for Frozen.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, their two daughters were the voices of Elsa and Anna when they were younger.
Makes sense.
And so that kind of reminded me of that. Cool. So, to get into a little more statistics about this film.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, it was originally released on October 28th, 2020. It had an estimated...
2020?
2012.
Okay.
I'm dyslexic, people.
It's fine. I just wanted to make sure we weren't somehow watching Hotel Transylvania 4.
Yeah. So.
Time travel.
Yeah. What a quickie dink. Alright. So, it had an estimated budget of $85 million.
Uh-huh.
Its opening weekend gross was over $42 million.
Mm-hmm.
Its domestic gross was over $148 million, and its worldwide gross, or as I type here, worldwider gross, was over $358 million. So let's say, yes, it definitely beat its budget.
Yeah.
Hint, we have 2 more sequels and a ton of shorts.
And a third on the way. A 4th movie on the way.
Really?
Yes. It's in pre-production.
Oh, okay.
I only noticed this because when I was going through all the IMDb's, nearly every character had Hotel Transylvania 4 pre-production.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Except CeeLo Green. This is the only time CeeLo Green played Murray.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The other 2 times he's played by... this is the only time CeeLo Green plays Murray. In the other 2 movies, he's replaced by Keegan-Michael Key.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, he was too famous to play a mummy anymore.
Apparently? I have no idea why. Honestly, I think by the time Transylvania 2 got into pre-production, CeeLo Green had become not as popular anymore. And so they went with someone who could do it.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Anyways.
I just know after Forget You quit being the cultural mainstay it apparently was. It was to the point that the chickens and the Muppets clucked his song.
Of course.
Oh, anyway.
All right.
That I'll probably cut out.
That was funny, though.
Okay. So,
I think we're going to do a review.
I know a review, but I mean, where was our train of thought?
Let's see. We were doing gross, and then we were talking about...
I couldn't remember why we got off into talking about... Oh, we were talking about Legacy.
Yeah.
So yeah, except for CeeLo Green, of course, like they all had Toy Story. Hotel Transylvania 4.
Yes.
So, anyway. Brain fart.
Of course.
You start a subject.
Okay, then. I'm just ripping you, dude.
I know.
All right.
I'm just trying to keep the show moving.
So, let's get into a review, shall we?
Okay.
All right. So, as many of our audience members know, that we've kind of changed our format a little bit. So we do the good. We do our good. Our
maximum of 3 good things. Maximum of 3 things we liked, and then a maximum of 3 things we didn't like.
Exactly.
We can short one of these groups if we need to, but
yeah.
I think we've only done that with dislikes so far.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So, what was your first good point about this film?
First thing I liked about this film. Do you realize that until the last scene, we don't get full daylight?
That is true.
Throughout the entire movie, it's all, the closest thing you get is the one sunrise.
Yes.
And even then, you're not there long. It's just enough for her to be amazed by it.
Yeah,
for the most
mesmerized by it. Yeah.
And the rest of the time, it's either nighttime when they're outside or they're in the hotel, which makes sense. Vampires.
Yeah.
They're the only ones I think can be in the dark. And they can't be in the sun, but
yeah.
I love the idea that throughout the entire movie, Dracula is trying to keep what he's doing a secret from his daughter because he's trying to protect his daughter, but he also knows that if she ever found out what he was doing, she would be mad at him and hate him forever. Which does happen until he finally fixes it.
Yeah.
And he's under these dark preconceptions about humanity.
Yeah.
For a good reason, I would like to say, because it is because of humans that his wife was killed.
Yes.
We're not shown how she's killed.
Yeah.
All we get is a scream and
a hand flop.
And that's all we get.
Yeah.
And the fact that she died in the fire. Okay. And you have to admit, Jonathan's version of the story that he heard from legend is kind of a cool little story.
It is.
And I love how they animated his version, which is all kind of a fairy tale love story.
Yeah.
And then Dracula tells him what really happened, and all of the color is sucked out of the screen.
Oh, yeah.
It's still color, but I mean, it's like there's nothing romantic about what happened.
Yes.
Here's the black and white truth of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did like the idea that most of the film is set in the night. But how they use the lighting and fog and the whole bit to make it look like all your characters are very well lit. So you can see everything, because it'd be like, oh, we're going to shoot it all complete darkness. Where's who? Oh, back!
Yeah. Well, to some degree, you're looking at it. I mean, there is moonlight.
Yeah, there is moonlight.
Because of the rules that Dracula is under, there is no actual external lighting. Because he's trying not to attract attention to the castle.
Yeah, which is very odd.
Well, it makes sense. He's trying to hide from humanity. Have this hotel where monsters can go and be safe.
Yeah.
There is some external light, but, like it says no fire, no fireworks shows, which we don't, except for,
the very end.
At the very end, we don't get a fireworks show, but we do have one fire scene, which is what gets Jonathan there in the first place.
Yeah.
Which I still think is hilarious. It's like, why did you even have the torches there? I know you're trying to scare Mavis, but you're dealing with the stupidest group of people you could deal with. That don't actually get hurt when they get burned.
Yeah. So my number one would be Stretch and Pull.
Stretch and Pull.
Stretch and Pull. The animation style.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, of how apparently they animate this so differently because it's I think it's like 1 to 2 set be like how they animate it. Where
are you saying they're animating like when we talked about Spider-Man? They're animating on 2s instead of animating on 1s.
Yeah, they're animating on 2s, and it's just it's how it's done is done toward traditional animation, where it's it's all stretch and pull and
that makes sense because it is Gendy Tartakovsky. That is his bread and butter.
Yeah, and I was just blown away. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like you see Count Dracula and be like how he moves and everything, and just like it's just be like it pulled me in. It's just like, oh my gosh, I'm really enjoying this because there again it reminds me so much of my childhood of watching 2D animated films. Yeah, and seeing a character stretch to an unrealistic proportion and perspective and everything. Like how they do kicks or throw the face into the screen or something. It is fan-freaking-tastic. I love it. I love it. Just now granted, being an animation nerd, being an art nerd, and just like, that's so cool. And I was watching the extra features, and which I was very surprised at how much extra features they have on this film. Yeah, because there's so many films nowadays, like. For example, I was watching Avengers Endgame and thinking, oh, they're going to walk you through the entire process of how they did this film. No. I was so disappointed in that. I was like, really? We get all character montages and a little bit of how they made this film. I was kind of disappointed in that.
Well, but in their defense, only the nerds like us watch that stuff. Yeah. So a lot of these places are trying to limit everything to a single disc. Yeah.
Anyway. But I thoroughly enjoyed the special features in which you did get to understand how they animated this to where they use more traditional animation styles to draw it with the stretch and pull. And I was it was fantastic. I enjoyed it. And I wish more animated movies, 3D movies now, would do that kind of animation style. And, the blur effect, how they do everything, just how they, create speed, momentum, and it's just, butter on your fingers. It's so good. All right, so what was your number 2?
My number 2, The Little Jokes.
The Little Jokes. Okay.
The Little Jokes.
The Little Jokes.
This is a comedy, so of course the big jokes and the big gags are funny in and of themselves. Right. Those kind of go without saying, like the fire bad and shipping Frankenstein being shipped everywhere. Right. And the parts and the zombies not being able to put his body together. Oh, that's great and funny. Yeah. And it's going to be anybody's thing they're going to like him in this movie. What I love are the little jokes that they're kind of the blink and you miss it jokes. Yeah. And some of them require a little continuity. So like the most obvious one I can think of is when Dracula says, did you Zombie Beethoven, did y'all get any time to practice? And he goes, That's the easiest one to spot.
Yes.
Second one I like. I did not catch this until this viewing.
Okay.
When Dracula is trying to explain why Mavis wouldn't go out with his daughter while they're in the sauna scene.
Yeah.
And of course, she wouldn't want to go out with anyone of his kind. Well, of course, they think he's the cousin of Frankenstein's right arm.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what are you talking about? Your kind? I mean, my kind. It says, not like you. I mean, like, he's got the big red curly hair, and the Invisible Man turns and says, he goes, what? He says, I have red curly hair. Well, how was I supposed to know that? That's funny.
That is funny.
The funnier part.
Yes.
After, they're waking up for the morning of the birthday party.
Yes.
And you see the Invisible Man in there getting ready. Of course, all you see is the glasses.
Oh,
and
yeah.
At one point, he grabs a pick and is out here, like, a foot away from his head, combing something. Thinking, oh, curly hair. Apparently, it's an afro.
Apparently.
And I didn't catch that until this time. I just it's like, okay, he's just getting ready to go. It's a small thing. But if it was what I think of red curly hair, it would be closer to the scalp. Yeah. And no, this is easily a foot away from his glasses.
Yeah, well, to be fair, when I was like 13 years old, I had a little mini afro. So, yeah, it was out here.
Right.
So it's literally, stop pulling, ow! You're pull my hair out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, like, those are funny. The
little, like I said, it's the little jokes, the jokes that aren't really there for a bust-a-gut laugh. They're just like a giggle. Mm-hmm. I love those because they're so exact. They hit you, they happen and they go past, they don't call any attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyway, it's not like the fleas that, they keep coming up having the worst vacation ever on their honeymoon.
Yeah.
We should have vacationed at your mother's.
You should have privacy.
And continually walking in on the skeleton wife's.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, Billy, he sticks her.
What is wrong with you people?
What's wrong with you people? They're like, why are you touching my wife?
One does have to wonder why a secret passage in a castle opens up on the inside of a shower. If you planned it out. Of course, those back ways in don't make any sense whatsoever.
No, they don't.
And one last little thing I want to make a call out to. When Mavis is... the other one that keeps coming up is Hawiwi.
Oh, yeah, that was hysterical.
I like it at the beginning. You have that call. It's like...
Hawiwi?
It's like, I was going to paradise in Hawiwi. It's pronounced Hawaii. Oh, whatever. And then later on, it's like... And it keeps coming up, Hawiwi. And of course, the big last one is in the... When she gets to the party and he's showing her the thing with that the Fireflies have made about showing Moscow and London and New York and Paris and Hawiwi.
Hawiwi. I did notice that one. I was like, wait,
Hawiwi. Because you can't pronounce Hawaii. But also, one little thing I want to throw out as not as a joke, but a little bit of continuity that will pop up in the third movie.
Okay.
When she's first saying, when she's first talking to Dracula, and she's talking about how she wants to go out and meet a boy, and she says, Auntie Wanda told me that when you and Mama met, it was like zing.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I don't know about zing, but... And at that point, you don't know what zing means.
No, you don't.
So it goes right past you.
Yeah.
And then you see the zing later on when her and Jonathan zing. Just keep in mind what Dracula said.
Okay.
About, I don't know about zing.
Oh, okay.
As far as I'm going to go with that.
Okay. So I was waiting for the episode.
When we get to Hotel Transylvania 3, keep that in mind.
Okay. Isn't that one on a cruise ship?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also the one where Dracula's evil nemesis Van Helsing shows back up.
Okay.
You know, the vampire hunter?
Yeah.
From the classic story?
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's in it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
as far as I'm taking that.
Okay. Good deal.
Any further, spoiler.
Spoiler!
Okay, so, what's your second favorite thing?
The father-daughter dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that, well, obviously be like, that be like they lost their mother, they're like the mother wife has, was killed, obviously. And so now it's his father raising his daughter, who's a vampire, raising his vampire daughter. And the idea that I think any father would probably, can relate to this, be like, you're very overprotective of your child. Like, I know my parents were. I know most of any parent I know that is very protective of their child. If they're not, what are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a little too much like Dracula does. He's a little too overprotective. Like, the fact that he, sets up this fake town full of fake people to scare her enough not to leave the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And, where he, that rolling pin of lies, where it's more like, because just it's genius how the depth of lies which Dracula has to continually roll into over and over and over and over again in order to prevent Mavis from going out into the world. And then it all kind of blows up in his face that be like, what have I been doing? Be like, I've broken my daughter's heart.
Mm-hmm. Be
Be like, she's zinged with a guy.
Yeah.
Which, now saying it out loud, sounds really weird.
Yeah.
But just that father-daughter dynamic, which is so, like, it's not unique. Be like, we see it all the time in movies, but just how it is to be like, you have the father who's overprotective and the daughter who just wants to go and see the world. Because she's been trapped in a castle her entire life. Mm-hmm. Plus she's a vampire. So yeah, that's my number 2 when it comes to the enjoyment. Hold on. Yeah, that's basically what I got. What's your number 2?
You my number 3?
Yeah, your number 3.
My number 3 is the common sense handling of the vampire mythology.
Okay.
A. He doesn't drink blood. He takes supplements.
He takes supplements. That was
2. He can get killed by a stake through the heart, but like he says, who wouldn't that kill?
Yeah.
The fact that he can't hypnotize somebody who's wearing contact lenses. Which, boy, it's a good thing the airline pilot didn't have contact lenses.
Yeah. Which that brings up a very interesting point. It's like, okay, how did that plane not crash? Because Dracula doesn't know how to fly a plane.
Well, he can implant a thought, and he's hypnotizing, so he attempted to implant the thought into Jonathan about forgetting everything.
Yeah.
And, of course, that doesn't work. So, obviously, he could implant the thought into the pilot, turn around, go back, and get fuel.
Yeah.
Which, technically, I don't think a plane can do when it's still full of fuel.
No, that's be like having to radio the tower.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of work, but for that moment, you kind of forgive the film for that. Yeah,
you do.
It's a bit of... It's suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
Goes right along with how on earth did he have that backpack already ready to go for her at the end.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a little bit of suspension there, a little bit.
After the sunburn.
Yeah, after the sunburn.
Where was he hiding that, is what I
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of logic that really don't matter, but it's like, well, if you think about it. Which, this is a movie... I'm not saying don't think about it, but try to let the logistics go.
Yeah. I think something that comes with my dislikes of the film a little bit. Because I get a little about those things sometimes.
Plus, like I said, it's not just with the vampires.
Yeah.
You also have how the fact that Frankenstein, while is made up of other body parts, when they're not connected, you don't see guts coming out of them, thankfully.
Yeah, that's true. Very thankful of that.
Which is nice. I mean, that keeps you from having to rate the movie higher than it needs to be rated.
Yeah, that's true.
I love how each head of the Hydra is a different personality.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's like, man, be like, do I look like a man? It's like, well, some of you do.
And that's Mrs. Hydra or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what's your third favorite thing?
Third and final for me would probably be how they kind of re-envision the monsters a little bit. Because obviously this is not a universal... They can't use the universal monsters.
Well,
but they can use...
They can't use the universal monsters, but they can use what the universal monsters are based on.
Yes. And they do an incredible job with how these characters are... Like, yeah, it's the werewolf, it's the mummy, it's, Frankenstein's monster, it's Dracula. But at the same time, it's just like how they interpret them. How they interpret them that the Wolfman, he's a worn out, crotchety dad with a bunch of this big, massive litter of werewolf pups. And that's the hilarious part. It's just that entire litter pack. Just it's like a little Tasmanian devil, except for the little girl,
except for Winnie,
which is hysterical.
But still, my favorite visual of that.
Yeah,
he's in bed.
Oh yes,
his wife is next to him,
sound
asleep. The kids are parked all over him. His eyes are bloodshot.
Yes.
And he's just finally going to sleep. And the wake-up call.
Now.
I didn't call for a go. Dracula set it up for everybody. No one will sleep on his daughter's birthday. And he hangs up. It keeps going off. It's like, where's the snooze button on this thing? There will be no snooze. The party's today.
Hairball.
Excuse me.
Or correction, werewolf hairball.
Yes.
But yeah, just how they interpreted the characters, they're all hysterical.
Yes.
They're not your prototypical ideas of the werewolf, this or this or this. It's a very fun interpretation of these characters, which is very enduring, because it's like, okay, now I want to see more of that character. I want to see more of that character.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we're getting more.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's my third and final. So, what's your third?
I just said my third.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind. Dum, dum, dum.
Since you want me to go second, why don't you tell me what your first disappointment was?
Oh, okay. So, for this movie being, made in 2012, this was still rolling from, Shrek.
Yeah.
There was still that Shrek, momentum of every movie that's animated has to have a song.
Okay.
And so, it was one of those nitpicks, and it's like, really? We're still on this gotta have a song at the very end of the movie train. It's like, whoop, whoop. Okay, I've really gotten tired of this. When is this? When is this caboose go around the corner? We get somewhere else. I think that was just one of my complaints. And it's the song was okay.
Yeah.
But when Shrek did it, it was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But everybody had to copy it. Everybody. And it's just, by the time you get to, Hotel Transylvania, it's gotten a little old.
Yeah.
It's gotten really tiring. And when I saw it for the second time, I was just like, this again? Come on. But it was animated great. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, that was my first complaint about this film.
Okay.
It's like, why are we ending with a song? What's your number one?
My first disappointment is also song related.
Okay.
But it's not that song. That song is fine for
Yeah.
what it is. The song I don't like is thankfully a song that hopefully will never be put in a movie again, considering that joke's already dead.
Okay.
But I was never a fan of the band LMFAO.
Okay.
And I certainly don't like their Sexy and I Know It song.
Okay.
You can call me a grandpa, as Jonathan put it, for that, but it's like, I hate this song, and the only reason this song is famous, and it's the only part of the song they play in the movie, thankfully, it's wiggle, 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 yeah. Wiggle, wiggle. It's like, I know what you're wiggling. Stop it. It's a kid's movie.
That did remind me. There was one thing that I completely forgot to put in my notes, but I will add it to it in a certain section. My second, and now granted, this is a huge nitpick. The castle was built in 1897, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah, and this was supposed to be set in 2012.
Well, let's fix something here, because the only date we see at the beginning is when he comes in to her bedroom and does the peekaboo. It's right before that you see the date.
Yeah.
And at that point, she is still a baby.
Yeah.
Like, still a young baby, which I'm assuming is like right after her mother died.
Yeah.
Is my assumption. It appears she ages about, 5 years?
Something like that.
Like, enough that she's, I would assume 7.
Yeah.
Let's say. By the time that the hotel is done.
Yeah.
And they go into it. So, 1890s, let's say.
Yeah, it's 1890s,
Yeah.
so be like she's 118 now, so
Yeah.
So it's relatively close, but at the same time, be like, you have orbiting satellites with cameras. How in the world do you not see this? It's based on an island with a bridge.
And in the middle of a forest.
In the middle of a forest. I'll be like, this is not like Mother Gothel's castle, where it's, based in like the 1800s. Be like, you have orbiting satellites. People are checking these things every day. And this thing has not been found yet.
Yeah,
are you paying the U.S. government or the Werewolf Goon Squad to go check all these out? to make sure that, like, this place is, hidden from the world? Be like,
I will make this assumption.
Yeah.
Dracula has the ability to hypnotize people and make sure they don't come near the castle.
Yeah.
Who's to say that he can't hypnotize the Google Street View car when it comes by, hypnotize the hikers as they come by, and even hypnotize the guy who works for Google who can accidentally Photoshop the castle out of the picture without even realizing it.
That's an extreme stretch there.
It's a stretch of the imagination, I'll grant you, but this is not something you're supposed to worry about.
I know, but it was one of my very small nitpicks about this film. And it was like, oh yeah, that!
I would point out that 2012 is only 5 years after the invention of the iPhone.
Yeah.
The smartphone, so the maps, the satellite view of the maps was not a widely used feature at this point.
Yeah, but also,
it would be like 3 years after that.
Yeah.
Plus, if this is in an extreme rural part of Transylvania, of Germany, that's where Transylvania is.
Yeah.
If it's an extremely rural part, maybe they haven't been able to get it. Okay, here's why.
Okay.
I have a reason.
Okay.
Google does not update the photo if it doesn't turn out good.
Okay.
There is magic all over this castle.
Okay.
That can hopefully, one would assume, obscure it from accidental viewing.
Okay.
Such as when a satellite goes overhead.
Oh, okay.
So if the picture is not good, they won't update the picture. Now, the fact that it's not been good for 10 years by this time.
Yeah, that's true.
That may cause someone from Google to go out and visit, but anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Jonathan actually was, and he just didn't remember it.
Yeah,
he actually worked for Google. His backpack actually had a camera on it underneath that hat. So he didn't get any good pictures either.
Could possibly. Now, I still do like the idea of the werewolf goon squad be like, oh, you took a picture. You must die. Oh, no. It's like, hey, we must keep everything secret, you know? Be like, hey, goon squad. Be like, take care of these diplomats who are trying to take picture. Be like, okay, boss. Oh, no.
All I'm saying is, considering the rest of the universe,
yes,
where all these other monster things apparently exist in the world, not just the hotel.
Right.
I'm fairly certain the monster world has found a way around Google Maps.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. All right, so that is my number
2 disappointment.
2 disappointment. What is yours?
My number 2 disappointment. And admittedly, we're stretching a little bit here. The old troll lady who eats his scooter.
Oh, yeah.
She has essentially 4 lines throughout the movie. 2 of them are copy-pasted the first one.
Yeah.
Where she goes, I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Her one other original line is where she says, he let me eat his scooter.
Yeah.
Is voiced by a different voice actress, I am convinced.
Okay.
Because it does not sound like the same person.
It could possibly be.
Now, it might be the same person, and maybe she didn't remember how she said it the first time.
That's possible.
Maybe, I don't know, it really sounded like it was a different person.
Yeah.
And I'm also not entirely convinced she's not also the bingo caller from that early part of that
I think she
scene,
was.
which gives her a couple other lines that sound entirely different, like they're voiced by another person.
Okay, I did not even check. I
didn't check
click on it.
I didn't check the voice on that one, but it sounds like they've had 3 different voice actresses for this one role, and none of them sound alike.
Yeah.
I can usually forgive this and a lot of stuff, but this one is just, it's stuck out.
I got you.
Because they, like, for instance, if it was the other trolls that keep being coming up underfoot, if their voices were different, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Because there's no guarantee that's the same troll every time, even though you're supposed to assume it is.
Yeah.
This is obviously the same person because there's continuity in her lines.
Yeah. And her character design's the exact same.
Exactly.
Okay. So, my number 3, kind of... I got myself confused. Go figure.
Well, what's your number 2 that's now in your number 3 slot?
Yeah, well, technically I wrote 4, but... Because those... What I'll do, I'll forget the... Because the one kind of a very small, whatever. The fact that when the monster discover that, oh, Jonathan is actually human, they all freak out. But when Dracula, pleads with them, it's like, I've got to find Jonathan because him and
I may be able to defend the scene.
Yeah. How do you pronounce your name again?
Mavis.
Be like, oh, they singed, and so they completely forget about that. And it's like, oh, or be like, our lives are ruined. Be like, we can't really care. Oh, Mavis singed? Oh, let's go find her. Completely drops that. Now, I'm going to roll this into, 3, 1 to 3.
Can I defend this before you merge?
Okay.
I want to defend this scene.
Okay.
Think about it from their perspective. They just found out that the object of all their fears for at least the past 118 years, at least, just walked in.
Yeah.
They are scared and they are panicking, and to some degree, they've all just realized that Dracula knew this and lied to them about it and tried to hide it.
Oh, yeah.
If he's hiding that, what else is he hiding?
Yeah.
There's that part. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, while they're in a panic, this is at least, half an hour after they all leave the ballroom?
Yeah.
That speech scene is?
Yeah.
Even while they're panicking, their brains are working and they're going, well, wait a minute, we met this Jonathan guy. He's a good, pretty decent guy.
Yeah.
And then Dracula comes up and says, okay, look, here's the deal. Yes, I lied. I shouldn't have. I don't know what to think anymore. I don't even know if humans are that bad anymore.
Agreed.
And the fact of the matter is, they zinged.
Yeah.
Okay. Think about what's going through the monsters' minds. They themselves are thinking, well, Jonathan really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
He was a cool guy. We don't know anything about him in reality, but if he's a picture of what humans are, even if it's just a little bit, maybe they're not that bad, then you got to think, okay, they zinged.
Yeah.
That's a big thing in the monster world, at the very least, because you only zing once in your life.
Yes.
If they zinged, and it's not a mistake, which I assume you can't really... I'm assuming this is soulmate is why you zing.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then maybe we need to give this another thought. And then the only people who go with him to go get Jonathan are his closest friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Frankenstein, Murray, Wayne, and Griffin. Yeah. They're the only ones that go with him. And they are the only ones who see what the outside world is initially like.
Yes.
We don't see the other members of that hotel after that scene in the entire movie. Some of them could have left. Some of them might be hanging around. The only people we're certain are hanging around is Wanda and the wolf pups. Yeah. Everyone else could be gone, for all we know. Yeah. They could all be remaining. So those who did remain, when one assumes the others got back, because obviously Dracula came back by himself. Yeah. Because he was in a hurry.
Yeah, he was kind of on fire.
A little bit. We can assume when the others came back, they said,
was bat toasted.
Here's what, we just witnessed something we never believed. The humans actually like us. They were having a festival down at the village. In fact, I bet we could all go down there and be treated like royalty. Yeah. Except a lot of them would actually get attacked because it's like they're being... Too many are going to be coming in on that festival.
Yeah.
It may not be wise.
Yeah, probably not. That's a good point. That's a good point.
And that's just the thought process that's going through my mind about what might have happened because we literally don't know how that mob reacted after they left. Yeah. And the only people that went with them were his closest friends who would be with Drac through thick and thin. Yeah. So even if they didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah. And I do agree with that. Now, the one that kind of... Now, granted, this is an extreme nitpick. Extreme nitpick. Is, to me, is Mavis's mother, Dracula's wife, her origin is not really given a clear understanding in the movie, as far as I understand. Because, be like, oh, we know she's a countess. That's basically
only because she married Count Dracula.
Yeah. I'll be like, we're never going to be like, oh, she's a vampire. We're never given any of that information, so we're only...
we are, actually.
Okay. Apparently I missed something.
The book, where it's going through... Mavis got for her 118th birthday that her mother wrote. Yeah. Admittedly, we're kind of assuming that it's not any artistic liberties were taken. Yeah. But we do see her as a bat. And we do see her as standing upside down on the tree with Dracula.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
That's the only two clues other than the assumption that you never see anybody being turned into a vampire. Yeah. And the assumption that she would live long enough to see Mavis's 118th birthday. Yeah. And the assumption that Mavis is a full vampire.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense now.
And because
those little things I probably missed. I saw it, but it didn't click with me. And so I was under the assumption, okay, is Mavis half vampire? Because, I didn't see she's a vampire in the deleted scene. Because there's the deleted scene where it flushes out that story more to where how Dracula and his wife meet and fall in love. And, the birth of Mavis and the whole enchilada.
Yeah, and I can understand why some of that they would have cut for pacing, especially there in the beginning, because parts of the beginning that they did leave in there do drag a little.
Little bit.
Not much, but they do drag a bit.
Yeah.
So maybe those scenes just drug a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, and I don't know I haven't watched the deleted scene myself, so I don't know what the birth of Mavis actually looked like.
It's not, because it's more that, Dracula, he's pacing up and down.
Yeah.
You hear the baby cry, he goes in the room.
Okay, so standard cartoon version.
Yes, standard cartoon version. They're not going to go that far.
Yeah.
It was to me, it was slightly confusing. It was like, okay, is Mavis part vampire or is she full vampire? Because apparently I missed something in this last viewing that just kind of left me scratching. It's like, what?
And to some degree, I think you're supposed to assume that they're full vampires without actually being told.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider how much at the beginning of the movie Dracula hates humans.
Yeah.
Even though he met this woman 118 or a little over 118 years ago, he doesn't hate her, and knows that she died at the hands of humans, and he specifically says she died. It wasn't a mystery what killed her; it was your kind.
Yeah,
when he's talking to Jonathan.
Yeah,
and I don't know. That's just my thought. There, it's like you're not supposed to assume she's a half breed.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm saying this having seen Hotel Transylvania 2.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. We meet Jonathan and Mavis's son.
Yeah.
In that movie.
I've seen clips from it.
He's a half vampire.
Yeah.
But it's questionable if he's actually a vampire or if he's actually human, because he could be either way. They don't actually act like half vampire is a state.
Yeah.
And plus, Vlad, Dracula's dad, is not exactly any more liking of humans.
Yeah.
In fact, he's worse.
Gotcha. Alright, so
anyway.
Yeah, that's my number 3. I would probably throw in there, just for giggles, all the butt fart jokes. Now, granted, it's a kid's movie. I understand that. But at the same time, it's just like...
Well, at the same time, we grew up in an era where fart jokes were not something you saw in stuff.
That's true. It's a different generation.
Yeah.
Completely understand that. So, that is my number 3.
Okay. My third thing that I didn't like. And it's a tough one, actually.
Good.
I'm not actually sure. To be honest, I don't really have a third.
Okay.
I could probably come up with something if I thought about it long enough.
Yeah. But
honestly, I'm having a hard time coming up with anything. Other than perhaps if Dracula does have the ability to get these pictures of humans as they are now, as we see in the slideshow at the beginning.
Yeah.
How could he... Did he see the version, the movies that we made about them?
Yeah.
And obviously those wouldn't be flattering either.
Right.
He wouldn't show them in a good light. And I did just think of something hilarious that I'm going to bring up after I get done with this point.
Okay.
But, well, I guess what it comes down to is this. And I know this is a problem, any type of thing where obviously humanity is not supposed to be aware that something exists.
Right.
There appears to be no clue outside of the old legends that monsters existed.
Right.
The hotel alone in the movie has at least 200 or 300 characters.
Yeah.
In it, between staff, between the close friends, between zombies, between the guests at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
They have to travel across the world.
Mm-hmm.
One assumes that at least for the Frankensteins, that there must be a monster delivery service.
Apparently.
And there must be a monster airline because he says he hates planes.
Yeah.
But they can't travel on the regular planes, otherwise people wouldn't know they exist.
Yeah.
And they've supposedly stayed hidden, one assumes, for at least 100 years.
Yeah.
And the only thing that remains of them are the legends from the old stories that have been translated into movies.
Yeah. And
in the case of the one I thought of,
yes, I think I know. Exactly
I love the
The airline movie?
The airline movie?
Yes.
Twilight ripoff?
Oh, gosh.
And he goes, this is how we're represented. Great. I'm thinking, if that's how you're represented, that's a boon in your favor, because it means you're not hated.
Yeah.
You may not want to know where it went after that, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was an hysterical scene. Oh,
yes.
my gosh.
It's a stupid joke, too.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, this joke wouldn't work 5 years later.
No, it wouldn't.
But it works perfect here.
Yeah, 2012? Oh, yeah.
That's right in the middle of it, and they look just like Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. That, I think, brings us to the end of the review.
I think so.
Which means... I mean, we already said it's family friendly.
Yes.
We need to give our final thoughts of it. I'm going to rate it an 8.
Okay.
It's a fun movie. This is one that now that when I see it's coming to theaters, I go watch it because they're good movies.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to see the next one, even though they're not always the best things. They're some cheesy. And plus, it is Genndy Tartakovsky. He's a great animator. He needs more work. I want to see him do something besides Hotel Transylvania. That would be nice, but that doesn't seem to be in the near future.
Right.
But at the same time, I enjoy seeing that he's getting work. And this is legitimately fun stuff, and it's not from the character from the actors in the movie. Mm-hmm. It's not the normal stuff we get. We get to see different sides of the actors. I do love seeing that because they're not writing their own jokes.
Yeah, true,
which is nice. It's a nice little story. It's not gonna win awards, but it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it an 8.
Okay. I would go a little higher than that. I'll go with a 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it'd be like, there again, I watched it and was very impressed. And with this view, I was even more impressed with it. That I could find myself watching this movie again and not, it's like, oh, okay, it was a good film. I might watch this in another 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And with it having sequels, I will definitely be, watching 2, getting hold of 3,
mm-hmm.
and whenever 4 comes out, watching that. And mind you, there's a lot of shorts also.
There's a couple. I haven't seen the shorts.
Yeah, me either.
The only one I know that I need to see is that between 2 and 3, you need to see the one where they get the dog.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's gotta be hysterical.
Just so you'll know why there's a dog in the movie.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That's still... I can't remember the name of that one. Hang on. I'll know it when I see it. Like how I typed this in, and the puppy one is... Yeah, it's just called Puppy.
Puppy, okay.
And just to give you an idea, that's the poster for it.
Oh, gosh.
And Puppy returns for the 3rd movie, so...
Gosh. Hey, puppy! It's like, oh, crap, this is a big dog.
What would you expect in a monster universe?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That brings us to the end of the review.
Yes.
Normally, right here, is we would roll for our next movie, but we're in the middle of Halloween month, which means we already know what our next movie is.
Yes.
Which is your choice. So why don't you enlighten us?
All right. Our next movie will... Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island!
One of the first in the DVD, straight-to-DVD movies.
Yes. Yeah, technically this Scooby-Doo had not been on air for a number of years, and this is the first actual comeback of Scooby-Doo. And so
there's actually a canon jump.
Yeah, there's a canon jump.
And to explain, time has passed.
Yeah, there's a canon jump. It's actually a reunion, kind of like in the live-action movie. The Scooby Gang comes together. Huh?
But better.
But better. A lot. Yeah, a bit better. And I feel like you have some stellar cast in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good night. You have Jim Cummings, Mark Hamill, and of course, Frank Welker.
Because of course we've got Frank Welker.
Yeah. But I think this is one of the first times I've heard it. It'll be like, obviously, these two icons of animation voiceovers of, Jim Cummings and Frank Welker being in the same film. I know it's not uncommon, but it's like, oh my gosh, they're in the same film.
I need to look that up, because I think they were both in Animaniacs.
That could be a possibility. I never watched Animaniacs.
I know Frank Welker plays like 2 or 3 characters.
Oh, of course.
At least 2 of them are dogs.
Of course.
And Jim Cummings, I think, has... I don't remember if he voiced a focus character or not, or if he was just a side character a bunch of times. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. But I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh. I did not realize that. Because now, granted, when I first watched this movie, I wasn't as big of an animation film as I am now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, oh my gosh. And they got most of the original cast back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was I'm really looking forward to doing this movie and kind of giving you a history on how I saw it. And it's one of those movies that for me was just like, this is the coolest thing on the planet. It's Scooby-Doo. And no, this is not where I got the Scooby-Doo voice. I actually got the voice from the movie, actually. The live-action movie. So that's why my Scooby-Doo sounds a little different.
I will say this. I first saw that movie on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
That's what most people did?
Yeah.
The commercials for it ruined the end of the movie.
Yeah, I agree. But it's still a good movie.
Yes, which we're going to be nice and not tell you about the end of the movie.
Exactly.
Because if you've somehow got this far and not seen it, we want to save the surprise.
Yeah. All right, so that'll be our next movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start off. Where can they find you, Drew?
They can find me on Facebook under Drew Dodgen. You can also find my collection of pictures on my page, Drew's Photo Bin.
Yeah.
I've not updated it in the last couple weeks, but maybe something's going to come up this weekend. Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe.
So there might be something up there by the time you listen to this. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Also, I've never mentioned my Twitter on here. Yes, I have.
Yes, you have.
Yes, I have. So I'm just going to bring it up again.
Okay.
You can find me at ggeorge759 on Twitter.
Okay.
If you see a Gorn in a flower patch, you're in the right spot.
I gotcha.
Where can they find you?
You can find me, as usual, on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. And also, including on Facebook, is my Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw every day. I'm not so successful at it so much, but I'm trying to get back to that.
Well, at least by now, when this episode comes out,
yeah.
It'll be in the middle of Inktober, so
yeah.
you should have stuff up at nearly every
that
day.
is true. That is true. Inktober is coming, and I think I've got my theme out. It's going to be very interesting, to say the least. Definitely when you hear this, you'll start seeing these and just like, okay, that was interesting. Not my idea. Actually, a friend of mine and our listener, Jim, like, just spitballed all these, and it's like, I want to draw this now. So, yeah, this year's theme looks like it's going to is Disney Marvel crossover. So get ready for a Phoenix Ariel.
I can see this, actually.
Yeah. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Jacob B. Heron or just Jacob Heron.
Mm-hmm.
So where can they find us?
Well, the first place you should go if you're looking for us is to go to our website at the Cellcast Podcast. No. The first place you should look for us at is on our website, which is cellcast.podbean.com.
Mm-hmm.
There, along with a copy of every episode that we've put out, you can also subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Right.
You'll also find a link to our closed Facebook group,
right,
which is the Cellcast.
Mm-hmm.
We keep it closed. I would say to keep the humans out, but my understanding is they're not that bad anymore.
Nah, that's true. Keep some of the very odd monsters out.
Maybe. And then, of course,
keep the litter out at least.
There you can also find a link to email us at thecellcastpodcast at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the website yet, but if I remember to do it, I'll put a link on there to find us on our brand new Twitter account, which is @cast_cell. Because why would I not break it up? And because I wasn't paying attention at the account creation screen.
You live and learn.
I think it loves.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Or hugs.
that's the next movie. that's the next Hotel Transylvania movie.
Yeah.
Of course, every time we have mentioned the Cellcast,
Yes.
that is spelled with a single L.
Yes.
Of course, if you are listening to us, you probably already know that.
Yes.
It occurs to me because you probably are listening to it either on your a podcast listening device or somebody else's, and you can just pick it up and look and go, oh, the Cellcast. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It just occurred to me. We've been doing this for, 25, 30 episodes now?
Roughly now. But it's always good for those listeners who are just chiming in, trying to figure out, it's like, where do I find you guys at?
Oh, yeah, in case you just walk in on someone listening to it and go, oh, I like these guys.
Yeah.
So,
so speaking of that,
yes.
So if you enjoy what you're listening to, please share on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what have you, and just
retweets are acceptable.
Retweets are acceptable. Share with one or two or more of your friends, and just get this community rolling a little bit more. We've got.
Please join us in our Facebook group.
Yes,
and keep the conversation going there. We want that to grow probably faster than I think even our listenership at this point.
Yeah. Because
that's 9/10 of the fun is talking about this stuff with everybody else. And we're only just now getting to where we're having conversations in there.
Oh, yeah.
So at least share the Facebook group with your friends, especially if they like animation, because if they get there, they're going to be bombarded every week when we post the post for the new episode. So I would do that.
Yeah.
Brain fart. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. So I think that brings us to the end.
I think it does. So
right.
This has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
Such a nice, relaxing swim in the pool. I think I'll go and get a massage. Oh, look. There's Scooby and Shaggy. I wonder what they're doing here. Hi, guys.
Riggs!
Calm down.
What are you doing here? Yeah! What you doing here, man? Look, all these monsters were...
Calm down.
Okay.
You're fine.
Are you her?
Yes.
Okay.
They just... Admittedly, these people were scared of you humans recently, but...
You think?
They've recently come to realize your lurch is fine.
Okay.
You're not going to be attacked.
Okay. Are you sure?
Well, my good friend Dracula will see to it that they don't.
Okay.
So, how y'all doing?
Better. Much better. Wait, where's the food?
Oh yeah, I was just thinking. Y'all should try the buffet.
Oh yeah.
It's right over there.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
But, just a fair warning. The cream cheese is a little out tonight.
Green freeze? Okay, let's go. Next time on
The Cellcast.
It's probably the gardener.
We'll just see about that. Hey!
Shaggy?
Shaggy?
Scooby? Take it easy, Shag. It's just a mask.
If this is a mask, Fred, it's a pretty darn good one.
Good one. It's the fakest, cheesiest mask I've ever seen.
Really? But it feels real.
You're just not pulling hard enough.
Okay, Mr. Macho, why don't you try it?
Sure. Hold this, Shag. Either hold it still or give it to Daphne. It's the gardener.
No.
It's the fisherman. No. It's the ferryman. Oh. Maybe it's real. animatronic.
Oh, Fred, are you getting all this?
Wait, it's deja vu all over again, and we know what to do, eh, Scoob? Well, run! Yikes! It's a regular zombie jamboree!
And I suppose they're all animatronic too.
Well, it is a possibility, Daff.
You're not a skeptic, Fred. You're in denial.
It's Lena! We left her and Simone unprotected.
Come on!